In today's video, we are going to be breaking down Scottie Barnes and his basketball shooting form and some of the changes that he's made in his rookie season so far this year. Now, at the beginning of the season and even into his college years, he was only shooting around 20 to 25% from the three-point line, and now he has improved to the point of, in some games, getting upwards of 40%. However, right now, I think he's roughly around in the mid to high 30% range, which is absolutely spectacular. So let's get down. Let's check out Scottie Barnes. Okay, so one of the things that I really did notice right away is that his body has not changed all that much. What they have changed is all about his release, and I was actually mentioning this at the beginning of the year. So with his release, we can see that the ball now comes off of his first and middle finger. We've seen this from other angles as well. We can also see that he has a nice soft release and zero thumb flick. This is a massive change and usually is something that many players will struggle with. Overall, however, Scottie Barnes has a very good shot. He may find that he gets more power if he leans his shoulders a little bit more forward to line up with his knees and toes. However, even with his shoulders slightly back, he still has a very good form. We can see that his shoulder and elbow are in line with the rim. We can see that that ball is over top of his right eye, which puts at least half that ball or about a quarter of that ball over top of the upper arm or shoulder. And we can see that at his set point, his shoulder and elbow are pretty close to 90 degrees. Now his elbow is slightly less than 90 degrees. However, we can also see that there is a slight gap because of a shadow. However, we can definitely in other clips see that there is very little gap as well, which is normal for somebody with large hands like Scottie Barnes, and he gets enough rotation on that ball anyways for it to really not be that much of an effect. He does have a soft release. We can see this right here in this frame, that now there is a larger gap in between his palm and the ball. And the reason for this is when you've got larger hands, this is something that generally naturally occurs before you release the ball. So it's not necessarily a massive issue as some people may say it is. He also has very good energy transfer where his knees and hips straighten out while the ball is going up into his release. This is very good energy transfer. We don't want to see the ball going up before your knees are straightened. This is just something that you don't want to see happen. But overall, this is very good energy transfer. We can see that he does have a one motion shot. He doesn't freeze at all. No matter how many frames that you put this at, there's no freezing at a set point. And this is actually a good thing because a one motion shot will give him the ability to later on extend to Curry range. He also has a straight flick. The hand flicks forward. It doesn't flick out to the side like it used to as well. And that's actually the first thing that I noticed when I seen his shot earlier on. He was very inconsistent with his release. And we can see in this first shot in the draft combine that that hand flicks forward perfectly, yet his second shot flicks out and slightly out towards the right. Not by much, maybe by like a quarter of an inch, but there is that difference that we do see right there. We can see one finger versus two. So that is a very massive difference when it comes to your release. Also, when it comes to his release too, back when in the draft combine, we can really see that he was really trying to push it off of just one finger and not the two that we normally would see. So you would normally want to have in a split finger release your pointer finger on this side and your middle finger right there. And we didn't see that in this clip, and we can see right here where yes, he does have a split finger release, yet he's only really pushing with that forefinger, that pointer finger. And when that happens, you're going to see a little bit of a more inconsistency with his shot, and that does seem to be one of the the things that they did work on. He also had inconsistencies before where he had what looked to be a thumb flick because his palm would face the rim on his offhand. However, now we don't see a lot of that. That palm now faces out towards that right side, and that really does tell me that that's another thing that they did work on. He also used to bring that ball up his left side and then into a set point, where we can see here he would be shooting from the middle of his forehead, and yet now he shoots from the right side of his forehead. This is again going to help him get that shoulder and elbow in line with that ball to create that shooting triangle. And then other times in his shot in the draft combine, he wouldn't have a thumb flick and that palm would be facing out towards the right side as well. So this is what the Raptors look like they have been really trying to work on. So to essentially raise the percentage of Scottie Barnes' shot, if you are making kind of the same mistakes and you find that you could improve your shot, really slow down your footage and see if you're bringing it up from the left side. This is just extra movement and will bring the momentum of that ball out towards the right side. And if you find that your shot may be missing out towards the right side, or your body is trying to overcompensate and push it back towards the left side, which is why you may be missing left, at that point you may look to really try to improve. Hey, bring that then up. You can still keep that one motion shot from that right side. You don't need to bring it up from the left. And this takes a lot of practice. Believe me, a lot of players, I even see it in the comments where, hey, how can I fix my shot? I try to do these improvements and it's just not working. And then I ask, how many shots are you taking? And they say, I've taken 10 shots. 10 shots is nothing. Remember, you need to take thousands upon thousands of shots to really improve your shooting form, or even just improve your shooting percentage. It takes a ton of practices. You should be, if you are serious about going to the next level, you would be looking at taking a minimum of 500 shots a day if your end goal is to play in the NBA. This is not something that just takes overnight. You're going to need to work, and it's going to be something that you need to work on hours every single day. You should really actually be putting in about 8 hours worth of work into school and homework, and then every other spare hour or minute that you have, you should be seriously looking at improving your game, whether it's with player breakdown, seeing what NBA players do so that you can play like them, or going onto the court and actually putting in work. You should at least be putting in an hour a day minimum on the court, with weightlifting as well afterwards. And this, if you are serious, is what you need to do. You're not going to be able to make the NBA if you only play basketball once a week. I hope that you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys again next time.